Hey Macy, Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and I'm going to show you how I cut prescription lenses with anti-glare coating for your Tory Burch frames. And because I don't have access to these frames, you went out and bought it elsewhere and mailed it to me, which is okay. But I'm just going to take it out of its Tory Burch case, and that smells good. Ooh, let me turn this down here so you can see this. Man, that smells better than Febreze. That is an incredible leather case. That just smells so good. I'm just gonna sit here and sniff it. Do you really need me to cut your lenses, or can I just smell that? Oh, I wish I had a car air freshener that smelled that good. But I'm gonna take it out of the pouch. Look, you even got the cute little Tory Burch emblem on your drawstring, and a leather drawstring too. That's all leathered out. But let's take a look at your Tory Burch model number 1015. It is eye size 51 and the color is 346 if my GoPro camera is good enough to show all of that. So cute frame here. Don't know what you paid for, but this is a high quality frame and worth every penny. So I'm going to take out your original demo lenses. The one of them says Tory Burch. I'm just going to pop those out really quick, and I'm going to put your frame into my Santinelli edger. It is the Santinelli. This is the LE1000 patternless edger, and the stylus is going to pop up and trace the shape of your right lens. Then it's going to move over and trace the shape of your left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everybody loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. You buy a genuine authentic frame from me and you will receive free clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription. But since I don't sell Tory Burch, she sent these to me and she's having to pay for lenses. I'm sorry, Macy. Next year I'll try and carry the Tory Burch line. But I'm going to pull your shape up on the computer. Your pupillary distance is 60.5. I'm just going to put that into the computer. These are polycarbonate lenses with anti-glare coating, so I'm going to cut them on the soft cycle. And this is being cut for a metal frame. So I'm going to take your right lens, which reads -3 1/4 sphere. I'm going to take it out of its protective sleeve, put it into my Marco 101 lensometer, put the power drum on -3 1/4. I'm going to put your lens in until I find the optical center. And you have no astigmatism correction in your right eye that I should be concerned with, so I'm just going to put one dot in the center of the lens and mark this one right. I'm going to put that there on the blocker. Now your left lens reads -150, -50 at 105. So I'm going to put the power drum at 105. Where is 105? Come on, where is it? I mean the axis wheel, sorry, the axis wheel of my Marco 101 lensometer. I'm going to put the power drum on -150. Put your lens in, rotate it until the sphere power comes in clearly. Find the optical center, check your astigmatism correction. That looks good, and I'll explain all that in just a moment. And I'm going to put 3 dots on your lenses. And those are so light, let me mark those for you so you can see them at home. 1, 2, and 3, and that is the left lens. Now this is a block. This is what's going to hold it in place while it's cutting. I like to call it Jenny from the block. All right, oh no, that's bad, that's bad. Hello, is this on? Hello? No, sorry. All right, I'll be here all week. Remember to tip your waitresses and drive home safely. Okay, so I need to attach this block to the lens, and wouldn't you know it, 3M makes some double-sided adhesive stickers. The black side is the sticky side, so I'm gonna stick that onto the Jenny, pull away the sticker to make it sticky on my side, and then essentially what I'm looking into is the crosshairs of a scope. I've got a vertical meridian and a horizontal one, and I want to put that red dot dead center. Hopefully you can see that. Of course I can't see it at the same time, and my job's more accurate, so let me make sure that's in the right place. Now the reason you have astigmatism in your left eye, which means your lens cannot rotate, that's why I put the 3 dots on there. It gives me a straight line to know exactly how that has to be mounted into your frame. So those 3 dots are going to go on the horizontal meridian, and the vertical one's going to go through that one in the center, which is the optical center of your lens. Pull that sticker away, get everything lined up perfectly, and hit the button. Now, that anti-glare coating, which I'll explain all the features of, one of the side effects of it, and again it's a good side effect, is it's a hydrophobic lens, meaning that it hates water. So it makes it a little bit extra slippery while it's cutting in the machine, so I'm going to put a little non-slip sticker on there. And I am going to put your lens into the chuck, or as I like to say, the Charles, because I don't know it well enough to call it Chuck. So, all right, I'm gonna call it Charlie. How's that? We'll meet you halfway. But these I told you, free bad humor. These calipers are gonna come down and trace the shape of your lens onto the shape of the frame onto the lens to make sure the lens is large enough, starting with the concave surface, which is the back surface, the rear surface closest to your eyelashes. Then it's going to move over and trace the convex side of the lens, which happens to be the front surface, all the while measuring the thickness to know exactly where to place the bevel so it fits inside the frame perfectly. The actual cutting wheel is down here on the bottom left. It's that lighter color wheel that's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your lens material, and this wheel in the center with that channel, that's what's going to put the bevel onto the lens. Now, we'll have to close the door in a moment, but I just want you to see as your unbreakable prescription lenses touch down on the cutting wheel. Ooh, that's loud. So your lenses, let me pull them back out. That's your right lens. There used to be three main lens materials: glass, plastic, and polycarb. Well, glass has gone by the way of the dinosaur just because of the weight and the safety, or the lack of the safety associated with glass lenses. If you're ever accidentally hit in the eye with anything, a ball, a rock, that glass lens will slice your eye open. Game over. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Your eye will never heal. Plastic is the most common. I'm using polycarbonate. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. It is also virtually unbreakable. Your lens is also bulletproof up to 22 caliber and has both UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin, so you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes while you are wearing these. The other nice feature about my lenses, I prefer to use aspheric lenses. Aspheric just means not spherical. A spherical lens is round in every direction. This is flat, a much flatter curvature. Spherical lenses give you an ugly cosmetic fishbowl appearance with a brown bulging lens. These are going to sit flat inside the frame and will have a much nicer cosmetic appearance. Now, when you buy glasses online, almost every vendor will charge you for plastic lenses. If you want the thinner, lighter weight, unbreakable lenses, you have to pay an upgrade fee. When you want the aspheric lenses, you have to pay an upgrade fee. This is everyone else's third tier lens. You get that for free just by buying lenses from me. A frame, excuse me. Now, if you notice your lens is still flat all the way around, now it's getting the bevel put on there. And this is where I love to pick stuff off the lens. Ooh, look, there's a little giblet right there. And if you will notice, there is water running in the background just to collect the dust, but polycarbonate lenses cut dry where plastic and high index cut wet. So these 2 water jets have just kicked in. That tells me it's the last 20 seconds of the cutting cycle. This just washes away any optical debris. Think of it as optical sawdust, just like the stuff I was trying to pick off your lens. So between 10 and 15 seconds this will stop, and we'll see if this fits inside your frame. That's a long 10 to 15 seconds, isn't it? I didn't know there was going to be so much math involved. I'm sorry. Let me get my calculator out. Yep, it's done. Okay, so yes, I am a professionally trained licensed optician. I'm just a terrible comedian. There's no training for that. So I do want to dry your lens off so it's not slippery, and I'm going to, you still have some rough edges left over from the cutting cycle, so I'm using my hand stone, which is completely flat. I can put my finger on it, and my finger gets warm due to the friction, but that friction allows me to melt stuff off the side of your lenses. So it's now going to be smooth. I'm going to use my thumbnail to scrape all of this off, and this is called Schwarf, this white powdery substance. And I scrape it all off your lens onto the counter, and I do this so much I've worn a V-shaped bevel into my thumbnail. But once it's all off your lens, I collect it from the counter into one nice, neat little clean pile, and then I wipe it on the floor. And this is where I say, kids, stay in school. I went to school for years to learn how to make a mess like this. So if you want to grow up and make a mess, kids, you gotta stay in school. So This is a metal frame, so I'm going to take my flat blade screwdriver and I'm going to loosen the eye-wire screw until your frame comes apart. I am going to put your right lens into the right side of the frame, close everything down, tighten that screw back, and if both hinges touch, then it's the correct size. If not, I will bring it down just a little bit more. That comes together perfectly. That is showing perfectly. So let's go ahead and start cutting your left lens. I'm going to flip this over to left and hit start. Just like before, the calipers are going to come down and trace the left side of the frame to see if the left lens is large enough to fit. By the way, your anti-glare coating, let me hit stop. The reason why I'm saying it's a hydrophobic coating, it's just like when you wax your car and it rains, the water beads right off. Well, you never need a liquid cleaner anymore, because whatever liquid gets on your lens just beads right off, just like when you wax your car. So you will only need the cleaning cloth that is provided in your Tory Burch case, which is a secondary bag in case you don't want to carry the leather case around. You can carry it in this. Of course, be careful of that metal piece, but this is also a cleaning cloth, but I will also provide another one for you. Now, the anti-glare coating greatly eliminates glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain, but from street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead fluorescent lights. It's three features in one. It's the anti-glare lens, which we just covered. It's also an anti-reflection lens, so that when someone's looking at you, they're not looking at their reflection in your glasses, or if someone takes a picture with the flash, you don't see the flash lit up in the lens. It just makes for much better eye contact and cosmetic appearance. The third feature that I like, the practical side, is it comes with the best scratch coating of any lens, because that anti-glare coating takes 24 hours to apply. It is 7 layers that they vaporize onto your lens. So the labs want to use their best scratch coating to protect their $1 million investment that they have just vaporized onto your lens. Now I'm going to go ahead and verify that this is cut correctly. And of course, this is -3 1/4. There's no way I can mess up a spherical lens. Your prescription reads -3 1/4 sphere in your right eye. Your left eye, sphere just means you have no astigmatism. It tells me that this box is left blank. Your left eye is -150, -50 at 105. The unit of measurement we use in the optical world is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R, and goes in quarter increments, starting at 0 being non-prescription, also known as plano, and goes up from there, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1, 1 1/4, 150. So your right eye, you need 13 steps of correction. You're on the 13th rung of a ladder. Your left eye, you only need 6 steps of correction, but you need to get everything the correct size, but you need 2 steps of astigmatism correction. Now, the first component of your prescription, the 3 1/4 for your right eye and the -150 for the left, without your glasses on, things are much larger than they appear in real life. When you put your glasses on, it will minify every image down to the correct size. So this gets everything in the correct size. Astigmatism, and there is a stigma over the word astigmatism, it just means shape. People, don't freak out. It is not a disease. It is not an affliction. It's like saying someone has straight hair, someone else has curly hair. That is it. You have a second curvature on your eye. You have one curvature that's -150. You have a second curvature going this way, that's another 2 steps. So you add these two numbers together, that gives you a total power of -2. Now the 105, this is an arbitrary number between, and astigmatism is what makes things blurry. 6s and 8s are the letters P and F look alike. So you need 2 steps of correction to take away essentially the fine-tune knob. And if a straight line is same as 0 to 180, with 90 being in the center, 270 being at the bottom, if this were a circle. But that's the fine-tune knob. That's what astigmatism is. So we're going to turn that knob past 90 to 105, and that tells us where everything is nice and crisp. So when I read these powers in the lensometer, once your left lens is measured, the first number value I will read is -150. I will read another 2 steps, and remember from high school algebra, you add 2 minuses together, and that's how we have -2. So if someone borrowed $1.50 from you, and then they borrowed another 50 cents, they would owe you a total of $2. I want my $2. All right, is anyone out there old enough to remember that John Cusack film when he was a teenager? I believe he was a cartoon artist in that movie. I want my $2. Macy, I think you remember that movie. Come on now. Come on, it ain't just me. Excuse me, I'm allergic to work. So, back to the handstone, back to the safety bevel. Back to, ooh, that's a good one right there. I love picking this stuff off. It's the little boy in me. I gotta pick at things. But I'm gonna scrape all that off of your lens. See, this is why I can't have nice fingernails, at least on my thumb. And once it's onto the counter, kids, pay attention, watch. Whee! Remember, kids, you gotta stay in school. How many times I gotta tell you? So, set that down. I'm gonna loosen your eye wire screw on your left lens. Oh, something's falling over there. We got ghosts in here. Ghosts in the machine. I'm gonna loosen that eye wire screw. You know, when I woke up this morning, I thought the Earth's gravitational pull was a little stronger, and now I'm convinced of it. It's not just me, you know. Hey, it's proof. I see it every day. Come on, let's get that screw lined up just right. I've got some moleskin padding on the counter to protect the finish of your frame as I tighten the screw. I've got the magnetic mat in case I drop a screw. It sticks right there instead of going to the floor. I'm going to take the block off, remove the blue sticker that I put on there, and I'm going to put your lens into the lensometer. It's still at 105, which is the axis of the left eye. I'm going to read the prescription dead center in front of that red dot, which is your optical center. That is exactly where your pupil is going to be looking through. And I'm measuring minus 150. Can you see it? Exactly halfway between 1 and 2. I'm going to turn the power drum until I check your astigmatism correction. And what did I say? We're at minus 2 combined power. Now your pupillary distance is 60.5. So I'm going to hold the PD stick up on your right lens next to my thumb at 0. And let me get my other PD stick that has a higher contrast. So I place the 0 on my thumb, and when we measure on your left lens, we're getting 60.5. So that is cut perfectly too. And one last thing I want to do before I ship to you is get your frame in standard alignment. 99% of all optical shops will do free